Have you ever felt exhausted after a workout and wondered if you are overtraining or undertraining? Welcome to the world of fitness, where pushing boundaries often leads to a perplexing dilemma. Are we pushing too hard or not enough? This fascinating conundrum of overtraining versus undertraining is more intricate than you might think, with subtle signs that often go unnoticed. Today, we delve into this topic, helping you discern the symptoms of both states. Stay tuned to understand the nitty-gritty of recognizing the symptoms of overtraining and undertraining. Let's dive into the world of overtraining. What are its early signs? The first whispers of overtraining typically masquerade as minor inconveniences. You might notice an increase in your resting heart rate. But why does this matter? Well, your heart rate can be a window into your body's state of recovery or lack thereof. When your body is under stress or strain, like during periods of intense training, your heart rate can elevate. If you notice that your heart rate is consistently higher than usual, even when you're at rest, it's a clear signal that your body might be grappling with overtraining. Next, we come to a symptom that many of us brush off: persistent fatigue. We all have days when we're feeling a bit run down or lacking in energy. However, if you're finding that these days are becoming the norm rather than the exception, it's time to take notice. Persistent fatigue doesn't just mean you're feeling a bit tired, it can also mean that your body is not recovering properly from your workouts. This type of fatigue can be both physical and mental, affecting your motivation, focus, and overall mood. And then there's decreased performance. This is a big red flag and can manifest in various ways. You might find that you're not able to lift as heavy, run as fast, or even last as long during your workouts. Or perhaps you're finding it difficult to complete routines that you could breeze through before. This drop in performance is a clear indication that your body isn't getting the rest it needs to repair and build strength. So you see, these early symptoms of overtraining, increased resting heart rate, persistent fatigue, and decreased performance, while seemingly minor, are your body's way of crying out for help. They're subtle signals that you're pushing your body beyond its limit, and it's time to take a step back and give it the rest it needs. These early symptoms might seem inconsequential, but they can lead to serious issues if ignored. But what happens when overtraining continues unchecked? Well, the body's plea for respite only intensifies. The later symptoms of overtraining are not only more severe, but also more disruptive to daily life. If you've been pushing the envelope for too long, your body might start behaving in ways you wouldn't necessarily associate with your workouts. One such symptom is an increased susceptibility to infections. Your immune system, worn down by the constant stress of overtraining, becomes less effective at warding off viruses and bacteria. You might find yourself catching colds more often or taking longer to recover from minor illnesses. This is your body's way of telling you it's running on empty and it needs time to recharge. Next, we have insomnia. You'd think that with all that extra exercise you'd be sleeping like a baby, but overtraining can disrupt your sleep patterns, making it harder for you to fall asleep or stay asleep. Sleep, as we know, is crucial for recovery and growth. So insomnia only compounds the problem of overtraining, leaving you trapped in a vicious cycle of fatigue and poor performance. Loss of appetite is another late symptom of overtraining. When you're pushing your body to its limits, your digestive system can also take a hit. You might start to feel less hungry or even experience nausea. This can lead to inadequate nutrient intake, hampering your body's ability to heal and recover. Lastly, overtraining can lead to mood changes. You might feel irritable, anxious, or depressed. Exercise is usually a mood booster, but when it's taken to extremes, it can have the opposite effect. This is because overtraining can disrupt the balance of hormones in your body, including those that regulate mood. So if you're frequently falling ill, struggling with sleep, losing your appetite, or experiencing mood swings, it's time to take a step back and reassess. Remember, fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. Your body is not a machine, and even machines need downtime for maintenance. These late symptoms are clear indicators that your body needs a break. The key is to listen to your body and respect its limits. It's not about how hard you can push, but how smart you can train. Now let's shift gears and talk about undertraining. What does it look like? When we talk about undertraining, it's essentially the opposite of overtraining. It's when you're not giving your body enough of a challenge to stimulate growth or improvement. It's like trying to light a fire without enough fuel. You might get a few sparks, but you're not going to see a roaring blaze. One of the earliest symptoms of undertraining is a lack of progress. You're showing up, you're putting in the work, but you're not seeing any changes. Your strength isn't increasing, your endurance isn't improving, and your body composition remains the same. It can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you're dedicated and consistent. But if you're not pushing yourself enough, your body doesn't have a reason to adapt and change. Another early sign of undertraining is low energy levels. Now you might think, wait a minute, isn't overtraining supposed to make you feel tired? Yes, but undertraining can also zap your energy. Your body thrives on movement and challenge. If you're not providing that, it can leave you feeling lethargic and unmotivated. Poor physical performance is another symptom. If you're undertraining, you might find that you're not able to lift as much weight as you used to, or you're struggling to complete your usual cardio routine. This is because your body isn't being pushed to its limits, and as a result, it's not maintaining its fitness level. It's important to remember that undertraining doesn't mean you're lazy or not trying hard enough. It simply means that you might need to adjust your workout routine to make it more challenging. This could mean adding more weight, increasing your reps, or incorporating new exercises. These symptoms are your body's way of saying it's not being challenged enough. Paying attention to these signs can help you adjust your training regime to ensure you're getting the most out of your workouts. Remember, it's not about working harder, but working smarter, because in fitness, just like in life, balance is key. And if undertraining continues, you might be wondering what happens if you persistently fall short of your training goals. Well, the body tends to respond in a pretty predictable manner. Muscle mass, painstakingly acquired, could start to dwindle. The body, in its wisdom, recognizes that these muscles aren't being used to their full potential and begins to break them down. It's the classic case of use it or lose it. Simultaneously, you might notice an increase in fat storage. The body, in a bid to conserve energy, starts to store more fat. This is especially true if you're consuming the same amount of calories, but burning fewer due to reduced physical activity. Lastly, endurance levels start to take a hit. You might find yourself gasping for breath after a short jog, or struggling to finish a routine that you once breezed through. These are surefire signs that your training regimen needs a boost. So we've taken a deep dive into recognizing the symptoms of overtraining and undertraining. We've explored the early signs, such as persistent fatigue and decreased performance, and the late symptoms, like recurrent injuries and insomnia. We've highlighted the importance of understanding your body's signals and how integral it is to be mindful of these symptoms. This awareness is vital, as it allows you to adjust your training regimen accordingly, preventing potential long-term harm to your health and overall fitness levels. Remember, the journey to optimal fitness isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion, but rather about fostering a sustainable routine that enhances your well-being. So keep these signs of overtraining and undertraining at the forefront of your mind, and don't hesitate to modify your approach when necessary. Remember, balance is key. Listen to your body, adjust your training as needed, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos like this one.